Merci. Merci.
Thank you.
Merci, merci, merci.
Thank you.
Mes chers compatriotes,
My fellow
avec
countrymen,
ce second tour, la primaire de la gauche,
with this second round, we come
les
to the
Français se
end
sont exprimés,
of the left
plus nombreux
primaries.
qu'au premier tour,
More people voted this second time,
inversé
more than the first time, but not enough to turn things around,
possible.
if that had
Benoît
been
Hamon l'a
possible
emporté,
at all.
nettement.
Benoît Hamon has
Je
won,
tiens
and handily,
chaleureusement
and I therefore wish to
Je l'ai
congratulate him
appelé il y a un
warmly.
instant,
I called him
et
up
nous nous retrouverons
some time
dans
ago,
un instant.
and we will be meeting on
J'ai
Rue de
toujours
Sulfarino
le
soon.
sens de l'action collective
I've always
et
had
de la loyauté.
the sense of collective action and loyalty. I am deeply attached to the respect of the commitments undertaken, and Benoît Hamon is henceforth the candidate of our political family. It will be up to him to carry out this beautiful mission of reuniting us. I wish him the best in the struggle ahead. The primary campaign, undertaken under unforeseen circumstances after François Hollande's decision, was a quality campaign, at times a little bit confusing, but since last week the choice has been clear for everyone. And I should like to thank all the voters who went to the polling stations, whichever way they voted. This redounds to the honor of our democracy. And in particular, I should like to thank all those men and women who voted for me, both here on the mainland and overseas, where I win hands down. And that is cause for pride in this huge, large, diverse France present in all four corners of the world. And obviously, I should like to thank the French people living abroad. From the bottom of my heart, really, very sincerely, I want to thank all those men and women who were elected officers, militants, sympathizers, volunteers from all quarters of life, and I'm particularly thinking of the youngest for whom it was the first time they did anything in the world of politics. I'd like to thank all those who spared no time and no effort in order to defend a certain idea of the left, a left that turns truth and demanding truth, the basis on which victory will be founded, and secularity in the Republic, central to our way of living, and work always as being the path to the future. So thank you to my campaign director. You've been solid, friendly, warm, loyal, and thanks to all the teams on the Avenue de France and all those who got going in every single department in France. Thanks to all those who have been following me since Argenteuil, Évry, Beauvau, Matignon. Thanks to all those who have joined our ranks in the course of this campaign. New friendships have now been struck. The winds have blown against us, fine. But thanks to you, we've been able to face these winds, and I shall never forget this. Defeat is part and parcel of political life. Defeat is part and parcel of democracy. There's no rancor in our hearts. Resentment is completely alien to me. I love life too much and political commitment too much for rancor ever to take hold of me. And there's nothing to regret when you have carried forward your convictions and your values, and when you have spared yourself no efforts. So have no regrets yourselves, and be proud. Proud of your values, proud of your struggles, proud of your love of the left, and proud of your love and our infinite love for France. Since 2012, collectively, we've moved forward on so many fronts. The left is credible. is credible in the area of security, and of course in the fight against terrorism. It has reinvented its own vision of the business world and of the social covenant, giving new rights to workers. That is the essence of reform, the kind of reform that I wanted to embody. And we have not assumed it collectively. And yet, we were able to show that being serious in budget matters could coincide with some very good choices for protection and the future by creating, for instance, new jobs for policemen, for teachers. We have done reform in order to include more progress in many areas in the young, retirement for people at the age of 60 if they had begun working very early, not being able to hold two electoral mandates at one and the same time, marriage for all, the climate, the tremendous climate accord that was signed in France for the future of the climate of the world. We have done so much. When the time comes, I think that history will pass judgment on our action and will show what we have reached. I don't think that we should blush over the work that we have done. In spite of the deep divisions with consequences in our own camp, and obviously what people always say about treason. Let me say, once again, and very seriously, that we must remain united and vigilant, because we don't want populism rising. In this world where America has given itself to Donald Trump, whose first decisions are very worrisome, and rightly so. We don't want Marine Le Pen tomorrow to be the face of France. And we don't want François Fillon to shatter our social model, which makes France what it is. And obviously, I cannot hide my concern because the germs of political decomposition are right there. The political decay, both on the left and on the right, and nobody should underestimate the consequences for our democracy and for the Republic. So we have to show ourselves to be strong, robust, keep a cool head, and remain together, even though a political cycle is coming to an end. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow countrymen, on the 13th of January 2015, after the very bloody attacks that France suffered, at the National Assembly, I gave a speech in communion with all French people, and I remain convinced that the left is strong when the left actually addresses itself to all French people. But I will remain, whatever happens, that indefatigable militant of a left which has no sectarian partisanship and wants to cope with the challenges of our time. Rebuilding Europe, essential. Preparing the future, fighting inequality and poverty. Energy transition. The digital revolution, which is changing the very nature of work and relations among citizens. A left that embraces, covers all French people. That means a strong republic and a just France. A page is now being